everybody, welcome back to Summer Camp Tips. My name is Howard Hall. I've been involved in the camping industry for 35 years, and I'm here to share some of my knowledge with you. Today I'm going to give you a checklist for parents to go through prior to sending their child to camp. So, let's get started.
Go, 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 gorilla, go, now.
Okay, camper supervision and support. Um, Call up and find out from the director how the kids are divided up for their program groups. For example, do they put all 7 to 10 together and 11 to 14 together? Um, just boys and girls? Do they mix the sexes? Um, or they can divide up the group to where there's young kids and older kids together in activities. I've done it both ways. Um, from the experience that I had, if they're mixed up older, younger, it has its benefits and it has its drawbacks. The benefits are that the older campers will mentor the younger kids and help them in the activities. That was really awesome to see that. But the drawback of that is that if they're going to arts and crafts or they're going to nature, it's hard to come up with an activity that covers the big age range that they have. So, up to you, but give them a call and find out how the groups are divided. You want to find out what systems are in place to keep track of your camper while they're at camp. Obviously, the buddy board on the waterfront. If your camp don't have a buddy board, please don't send your child to the camp. But you want to find out how they keep track of campers during the normal day. If they have choice activities, like we talked about, where they pick their programs, his entire group or her group is not going to go to the same place. So ask them if the camper is going to be left alone to walk from the dining hall to the activity that they chose, or if they have a staff member walk with them. Almost every camp I've been at, you get a child above first grade. I just let them walk to the next activity on their own, and just had staff members out there watching to make sure nobody wandered off. Okay, here's a really big one. In fact, I'm going to put the next two together. How does the camp help first-time campers orient themselves to the program? For this, you should be looking for answers such as they do icebreakers immediately when they get there. If your camper is going to tend to be homesick or sad, put it on the help form, and you should get an answer from them. Something like they're going to pair them up with a seasoned camper when they get there to take care of the child being sad, and the new camper will be able to help them, or the seasoned camper will be able to help them out. But if you go back to what I said a minute ago when we talked about scheduling, if you find out the camp schedule and you sit down with your child and make sure that they memorize that, then when they get to camp, they're going to be orientated to the program at camp. They're going to know exactly what's going on, and they'll be good to go. So that's why it's really good to get a copy of the schedule ahead of time. Okay, you want to find out how they resolve problems between campers. Now, do they just let them go? Do they sit down and mediate while the two campers talk? That's what I would do. Um, and sometimes, depending on the age of the campers, I would pick two or three of the oldest campers in the cabin, and they would all sit down. I would be with them, and then I would see if the other campers work with the two that's having problems to resolve their issue. And they seem to take it a little better when it's coming from other campers in their cabin. Now, again, I would always be there in case something got out of hand or it wasn't going the way I thought. But if you can use their campers' peers like that in their cabin, it'll work out much better for them. Okay, you want to find out what the what the camp's approach is for discipline if somebody acts up. Um, you want to look for answers of definitely second chance after they're explained to them clearly what they did wrong, and not just say you know what you did. You want to see them being shadowed by the counselor for the rest of the day. Um, I wouldn't, for a first time problem, take activity time away from a camper. Um, if it was an ongoing issue, yes, I definitely would take them out of the activity and find out what activities they would take them out of. If you find a camp that their first round for punishment is taking away swimming, I'd have a talk with the director because that is an activity not only that they enjoy, what they need. And the reason they need it is you're at camp and it's hot and sticky. So find out how they approach discipline problems. Okay, what happens with serious rule infractions? Um, by serious, leaving the waterfront without letting them know or removing your buddy tag. Leaving the cabin at night. Some pranks. That's what you want to find out how they handle severe problems like that. What I used to do if a camper made a serious problem or a serious mistake in camp is I would have them spend half of the day shadowing me as the camp director going around. And it's not glamorous being a camp director. By the time they're done, they are tired from all of the work that they've done and walking around with the director. So that'd be a punishment that I would like to hear a camp director tell you. Okay, parent partnerships with the camp. Here's where we're going to have problems. Okay, find out how parents can contact their child while they're at camp. Now, I know you're going to miss your child. You might even be a helicopter parent, which I addressed in another video. But camp is the place for your child to grow and be independent. That means if they're homesick, that they need to work through that homesickness with the help of staff members. Okay? Not calling home. Now, I don't know any camps that allow a camper to call home, but even if your camp did, please don't do it. Just don't do it. Because what's going to happen is if you have a camper that's just a little bit homesick and they're allowed to talk to you on the phone, that camper's going home. Because there's nothing else that can be done. Once they hear your voice, they're going to go home. So find out what the communication policy is. My suggestion for you, I've said in other videos, is to send envelopes with paper in it, with a stamp and your address on it so your camper can write you. And many camps now offer the opportunity to email your camper. But whatever you do, don't ruin your child's camp experience by trying to talk to them on the phone. You want to find out if parents are allowed to stop by the camp at any time. I really didn't mind it when parents stopped by the camp to look around. What I had a problem with is if they stopped by the camp to look around and demanded to see their child. So there's two different things you can do there. It would ease a parent's concern if they stopped by the camp and just took a little look around. You could show them the different program areas, but don't allow them to see their camper, because once again, if the camper sees mom and dad stopping by, start packing their stuff up because they're going to go home. So once again, stop by if you can, look around, and then leave without talking to your camper. Okay, you want to ask if the camp has Parents' Day. That normally doesn't happen at the lower cost-effective camps because the sessions are so short. But if you send your camper to a camp that's 6-8 weeks long, Find out if they have a parents' day that gives you a chance to come in and see the camp and see your child. And usually, when they schedule a parents' day, it's far enough out from the beginning of the session to where your child isn't homesick anymore. In fact, they probably want to just run around the camp and show you everything and then have you leave so they can get back to having fun. So, yeah, anyway, find out if it's a longer camp if they have a parents' day. Okay, again, you want to double, triple check to make sure that the camp you're sending your child to is a safe camp. So, one of the things on your checklist is to contact the camp director and ask for a couple phone numbers of parents whose campers went there in the past. That's the way you're going to get the absolute best reference from your camp is from previous campers. Okay, you want to find out what circumstances that the camp will call you for. And then maybe you can even tell them, I don't need a call for that. So if somebody got cut or a sprain or something like that, I would tell the camp, you don't need to call me. If my child needed stitches, that's even on the borderline for me if I'd want them to call me or not. But I would probably say yes, I would want to call. Homesickness, no, no, no. If the camp says that for homesickness, they'll contact you, tell them, don't call me, I don't want to know. Because if you find out about it, then you're going to start crying, then you're going to go to the camp, then your camper's going to see you, and then your camper's going to go home. Okay, last one. Meals. Call up the camp director and find out what they do and how they handle problems with food allergies. I'm getting ready to do another video on some terrible, terrible accidents that's happened at camp and how they could have been avoided. And a couple of them are food allergies. What happened with one of them was, and this happened to me at camp one time, that I had a camper that was so allergic to peanut butter that if she sat next to someone eating peanut butter, she could go into anaphylactic shock. So find out how they handle them problems. Peanut allergies are very rampant now compared to when I was a kid. And the answer I would be looking for from the camp director is, if your child is allergic to peanut butter, I would expect an answer such as, all peanut butter in the dining hall is put up for the entire session that your camper's there. I would not accept peanut butter is, sandwiches are made in the kitchen and then handed out. I would not accept peanut butter and jellies in the back of the room. They can go make a sandwich out of it and then come back and sit down so your camper isn't right next to the peanut butter. I wouldn't accept that. I've seen it happen. I've seen EpiPens come out. So, if your child has a food allergy, find out how they handle it. Alright, thanks for stopping back by. This is part 2 for a parent checklist. I appreciate you stopping. Again, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. Leave a comment about your favorite camp activity or your favorite memory at camp to win one of my giveaways. And anyway, thanks for stopping by and peace out.
Go, 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 gorilla, go